Thanks for coming in. Okie dokie. George Laxton is on Zoom. Do we have George? Right. Welcome, George.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So you have 5
Wonderful.
minutes. Go now, please.
Okay. Hi, my name is George. I'm a 26-year-old who lives in the Waltham area. I may have a comment on the Safer Streets proposal, so I'd like to be quick and leave time for any questions you may have. My main point that I want to bring up is the overarching point about why this is important to me. We build our road infrastructure for different purposes and name them as such. Streets should be for low-speed traffic. In my opinion, there's no need to travel 50 kilometers an hour through neighborhood streets, regardless of whether or not they're near a school or not. We all deserve the right to safe speeds outside our places of residence. If we do this right, we can not only reduce the perception of danger through neighborhoods, but also massively increase our bike network by slowing down cars and providing a safe place for more people to get on bikes, which is going to contribute to reducing our carbon emissions as a city. Speed is a massive factor when it comes to surviving a collision with a car. However, I can also tell you from personal experience that getting passed on a bike at 30 versus getting passed at 50 is a completely different experience. In light of this, I would like to see slower speed limits expanded to more residential streets. The current selection is great for certain areas, which I will get back to, and covers a lot of the places I live and work. However, I wonder why Wilson's Road South, near my house, has not got its speed limits changed. I believe it should be 40 or even 30 to match with the surrounding streets. It is not meant to be a thoroughfare road and should not be designed as such. The road is wide and encourages going faster than the posted 50 kilometers an hour, and people drive fast to the end or turn into our street and speed and drive fast down our street. Now, I realize that changing speed limits isn't going to change the perceived safe speed of the road for drivers, and we will still have some drivers going fast down our street. But I would hope that the speed limit change would encourage them to speed at 35 to 40 instead of 55 to 60. I fully support the council making the first difficult step to creating safer, slower streets for all, and I hope that data collected from this will result in traffic calming and modal filters being installed throughout the city to combat rat running and prolific speeders in the future. Now, back to my comment on how this is great for certain areas. The areas near schools are covered well, as they should, and there are many neighbourhoods throughout Christchurch that are getting slower speeds. However, there are quite a few neighbourhoods in the east of Christchurch that are not covered at all by the speed changes. Why are some residential areas left out? Why is it always the east of Christchurch that seems to be at the near bottom of the list when it comes to making improvements to our city? Listening to the live stream this morning, however, it sounds like there might be some extensions which are not shown on the map. But what I would like to advocate for today is making sure that every street in Christchurch is included in the slower speeds. I'd like to end on a slightly positive note. While lockdown did come with increased stress for all, I really liked it when you could just go outside for a bike ride or walk and the streets were peaceful, quiet, and low traffic. All of these factors line up to make it super pleasant to ride in. This can and will be the norm if we have the political will to make the changes to support this. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Oh, thank you, George. That was a very, very lovely submission to listen to and very eloquently put. Are there any questions for George?
You made a really good point on Wilson's part.
So, do you have a question, Tyler?
I don't know how to formulate the question, but you raised a really good point in your submission around coming off a really fast road, such as Brougham Street, and going into the suburbs.
Yes.
I'm just trying to wonder if there are any other situations in that case. I'm thinking of Curlitz Road, for example, was one, but that's Wakakotahi, for example. But can you talk to me a little bit more about your feelings and the observations that you've had on that Wilson's Road one in particular?
Wilson's Road South?
Yes.
Yeah, so people coming off Brougham Street, because it's coming from that 60, it sort of encourages people to sort of take that corner quite fast. And I'm not really sure what you're really wanting me to say, but I see a lot of people sort of thinking that they can just sort of cruise down from 60 to 50, but they might be going halfway down the street at 60 still before they finally hit the 50.
Yeah, and look, I think that's a point that we can allow staff to note and perhaps look at other areas. Thank you, George. And we've got one more question from Celeste.
Hi, George. Thanks very much. Just quickly, in the eastern suburbs, is there anything sort of top of mind for you that would be useful to cover?
Just specifically looking at the map, I just noticed that there's like large gaps with like residential areas which are just not covered. And I think all residential streets should be covered if it's not a throughway.
And I think we did address that at the beginning of the meeting. There will be other areas, George, after this. So our time is up, so we'll move along. Thank you again. Thank you very much, George, for that. Do we have...
Thank you for hearing my submission.